This is Alexander Leon Gamuchian. And no, I'm not talking about the sewing machine, but this guy.
Did I really just forget that melody?
You know him as the La 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 guy, but he's so much more than that. Since the viral hit, he's released banger after banger. He fostered a dedicated fan base, and he's done it all while still being independent. And on top of that, the dude really knows how to dress. So naturally, I hit him up in the DMs asking if maybe he'd be interested in a custom fit, to which he never replied. So I just moved on, and I was in the middle of filming this puppy here. But guess what happened about half an hour ago? Yeah, so I'm just gonna postpone this project, and for the next 7 days, I'll be creating custom fits for BBNO money.
When I popped off.
And right off the bat, I have a huge problem. The only text I got is this one. It's already been 3 days since I replied. But I can tell the man's busy. He even shortened the word you. So I guess that only leaves me with two options. Option 1, wait for his reply, which may never come. Option 2, just do it. That would kill on a t-shirt. Which means that I'd basically have to create the entire collection without knowing if he's ever gonna see it or like it or give a fuck about it. After inhaling a huge dose of copium, my mind was made up. I know which one I'm gonna go for. But where do I start? How do I make a collab piece reach iconic status? I honestly don't know. But one thing's for sure, I'm not gonna make a good design and just call it a day. I need to create something that represents him. Which begs the question, who is BBNO Money? No, like really, who is he? Let's find out. So I watched every single podcast, short, and music video he's done. And here's what I've gathered. Alexander is unapologetically himself. It's part of the entire BBNO Money image. But it's also who he is in real life. Growing up, he felt like the underdog in his family of overachievers.
I look at my sister and she's doing her PhD in psychology, and I look at my brother, he's like a creative genius, and I was like, there must be something out there for me.
He wanted to become a professional swimmer, but his dream was shattered when he suffered a career-ending back injury. He was lost. He felt like he had no purpose. That is, until he discovered music. And the rest is history. When it comes to his style, the same authenticity is front and center. He's all about the DIY aesthetic mixed with self-deprecating humor. And now that I have this slightly clearer picture, here's a list of all of the items that I want to include. Number 1, dick jokes. Boobs, they've been getting all the attention. I'm not saying that that's a problem, but I want to shift the attention away and see if I can make it at the very least funny. Number 2, BBNOS. BBNOS? No one knows how to say it, so I'm just gonna include an explainer directly into the garment design. Number 3, flowers, since they're already synonymous with his brand. Number 4, pointless pockets. I can turn them upside down, I can completely seal them off. Before I start to design, I'll select some references and list them. And here are the ones that I like the most. The denim biker jeans. I absolutely despise jorts. Baggy and wide. This detail. Okay, we get it. How about you shut the fuck up? Enough with the talking, enough with the analysis. It's time to put in the work. And here's the very first idea. Diapers plus trousers. Well, that didn't work. Not every idea is a winner. Let's try again. For my second attempt, I applied the techniques I learned in the previous episode onto this pair of trousers. This one honestly has legs. No pun intended. But it's still missing something. The dick joke. So I channeled my creative might, and it might just be the dumbest shit I've ever created. And here's what I learned in the process. I started with a pizza and cut it into 4 equal slices. I then extended the center of each slice. The more you do it, the more 3D it will become. Using internal offset lines to the crust, I cut the slices and merged them back together into concentric circles. It's done. You're welcome. But all jokes aside, this is a brilliant design feature often seen as Caporelli's work. Once I shift it all back to the trousers, here's what it looks like. I went ahead and actually made the shaft a lot shorter. I'm not trying to do the man dirty, but at the same time, I don't want to get him booed off stage for indecent exposure. People would be amused and intrigued by it. But f*** do I know? It's 3 AM and I'm adjusting the lengths and angles on shafts. I don't know if I've inhaled my own farts or something, but I absolutely love this one. What started as a joke ended up looking quite intriguing, so I'm giving it an 87, a very high score. On day 2, I started by adding pleats to this baggy pair of trousers. I'm fond of the idea, but it's not good enough yet. Putting it aside for now, cause inspiration knocked on my door. So goddamn simple, and yet so effective. This one's a big dub. The brass knuckle detail, plus the dual tone aesthetic, makes it a solid entry, but it doesn't quite surpass the dick pair. 82. While I usually target 2 designs per day, I felt like I had that tiny bit more juice left, so I committed. I tried to redo the biker trousers, but with flowers instead. I'm kinda torn on these. I don't know if I like them more. Set them aside for now. This is what they look like once I add all the details. I gotta say, this was unexpected. I'm placing it right in the middle, with a score of 85. The next day, I decided to man up and take on my greatest enemy, the f***ing jorts. Why am I putting myself through this? Great question. And as John C. Maxwell put it, there can be no success without sacrifice. Does that apply to jorts? Another dub. And I know what you're probably thinking. These are not jorts. Well, actually, I added this embroidered detail which tells you how to go and f them up yourself. I just don't want the blood on my hands. Okay, this one should probably be near the top, but I cheated. They're not jorts, so I have to lower the score to an 80. The rest of the day, I spent with this blazer made from multiple sleeves, which could alternatively become tentacles for the manga aficionados. You know who you are. We'll have to see what Baby No Money thinks. Speaking of which, I haven't heard from him since. Why am I making something for a person who's only sent 1 message? I am starting to feel a bit discouraged, but I gotta stick to the plan. Otherwise, all this is for nothing. I honestly couldn't find sleep, so I went back to the computer and tried to redo the same idea as a poncho. There's the poncho, and here's the blazer. They're both dubs, but it's so late that I honestly can't tell. The next day, I could tell. They were too similar, so I'm choosing the blazer as a final entry with the Chanel-like fabric. It's in the middle of the pack, with a score of 83. Day 4 was a complete disaster. This sucks. Come on. The program crashed for the 20th time in like an hour. While you can do just about any kind of garment in Clo 3D, there's one technique which it simply is not designed for: draping. So once I discovered these draped Loewe trousers, they're beautiful, aren't they? I had to try them. And what do you know? Of course I pulled it. Wait. Wrong line. I got absolutely humbled. This pair literally broke me. I don't know if you can tell from my face, I'm actually quite pissed. For now, I'm just gonna call defeat, take a big L on the entire day being wasted on this silhouette. But what can you do? Any sort of creative process is eventually gonna put you in your knees and okay, better cut here, too much, let's just move on. Did I scare you? Day 5. I started by reviewing the progress and immediately I got an idea. Remember the pleated trousers from day 2? No? Me neither, because it was absolute garbage, but I'm gonna revisit them. I wanna try something different. I took the pleats, made them smaller, aligned them with a cleaner spacing, and the result is mind-blowing. Are you seeing this? My favorite part, the screw detail which locks in the pleats, and I'm immediately putting this pair at the top. You should never discredit an idea. Only the execution. Unless your idea is the Holocaust, in which case, yeah, very bad idea. After such a good design entry which cracked in the low 90s, I was feeling myself. So I channeled the energy and did another pair. I made these cutouts which give a very pronounced 3D effect, and since they looked so much like eyes, why not actually, you know, turn them into eyes? Sick! They're quirky, they're gonna be quite difficult to actually pull off, but they do fit the Baby No Money aesthetic. Another solid entry, giving it an 86. I've got enough trousers, it's time to design the tops. Remember the list? There are 2 items which I completely overlooked. So I'll do a bomber jacket, short body, long sleeves, which, once I pleated, it really brought the piece together. You know those tearaway posters that you mainly only see in American movies? I'm gonna use that same idea to apply to the back of the bomber jacket. It helps clarify how the name is read. Baby No Money. It's in his description, his bio, now also on his jacket. You're welcome. I'm giving it a solid 90. And now onto the pointless pockets. This idea could become a staple. It represents Alexander's relationship with money.
I'm a cheap person at heart.
Which he views as a tool and avoids to spend. And what's the best way to not spend money? Not have it on you. I love the story behind it, but it's essentially the same jacket, so it's only fair to give it the same score. The silhouettes are done, or so I thought, but I still have one left in me. So I'm gonna combine multiple ideas and try to add them in the same basket. Okay, now I'm actually done. And that concludes it. The final entry, a respectable 84. Overwhelmed? Yeah, me too. Even my mic has sweat marks. Guess what? We're only halfway there. We put all that effort into making the design, but then why would we not put the same amount of effort in the way that the design is presented? I've been racking my brain for the past couple of hours, and here's the best that I could come up with. We're in a pink desert.
Let him cook now!
And we see these 3 massive mouths.
Let him cook!
Baby No Money's latest song starts playing.
I am H.I.M.
The Gen Z Eminem. On the beat, the 3 massive mouths open up, one at a time, revealing Baby No Money wearing the individual fits. The mouth closes and the fist change so I can cycle through them. But how are you gonna do that, dudes? How are you gonna make Baby No Money wear the clothing? How are you gonna make the desert pink? And let me guess, whose mouths are they? Well, what if I told you that this entire thing can be done digitally? And no, not through AI, but CGI. In the past, if you wanted to do something like this, you'd have to hit up a studio with a render farm, tons of artists working on it, but now I can just do it myself. It works on a very simple principle. You have your assets, you have your materials, and you have your lights. Combine them and the result is called a render. The pink desert is made from this single rock. I duplicate it and spread it across the environment. It looks like trash from most perspectives, but once I switch to the final camera position, it works. Next, I need Baby No Money's face. Boom. I made it using the Ken Tools Blender add-on. The clothes are already done, I just need to combine them into fits. And it's done. Do you wanna see it?
I am HIM, the Gen Z Eminem. That's me, that's right, that's me, that's right.
And what an insane journey this has been. It all leads to this singular moment. I'm gonna grab my phone and I'm gonna send Baby No Money everything. The visual, the clothing, and see what he thinks of it. That's it. And please, whatever you do, don't DM the guy, don't spam him. I don't want you doing that, even if he doesn't like it, doesn't want to get involved, whatever. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.